I'd be the first to admit that we went down this road really at the beginning for the pure joy of taking on a challenge that was largely thought to be impossible. There was no textbook on how to go and do this. I'm Richard Browning. I am founder and chief test pilot from Gravity, and we build 1,000 horsepower jet engine flying suits.
For the last few years, Browning and his team have tested every possible design and configuration they could come up with, all in an effort to make this a reality.
The origins of the concept were all around some of the inspiration from my early life. I used to fly model gliders and model aircraft with my father. He was an aeronautical engineer. His father was a pilot, so I guess it was in the blood.
But fulfilling his dream of flying required real physical demands, too. First, he needed to figure out how to stay suspended in the air.
The form of thrust I landed on was gas turbines. Gas turbines are notorious for being very small form factors, extremely aggressive. One gas turbine weighs 5 pounds and puts out about 50 pounds of thrust. And those problems led to the solution of actually moving those engines slowly up the body and then consolidating them into one. And essentially that created a skirt, all at the same altitude in the body, which can be likened to the 3 legs of a tripod. There's thrust coming out of each arm and then essentially a third leg coming out of the back of your body, which provides that uncanny stability. And that's how we learned to fly.
I can step you. It shows me everything to do with the engines and everything to do with the fuel, to give me an idea as to how close we are to running out of fuel, for instance.
Last year, Browning set the world speed record for a body-controlled jet suit, clocking in at 32 miles per hour. He says the suit can actually fly much faster and higher than they've ever attempted, but for now, they're playing it safe. That's because even at lower speeds and altitudes, there are still risks.
The heat capacity of air is so poor that actually the heat dissipates really quickly. And I've even swiped those engines across my leg with this, heavy cotton flight trousers on. All it did is just slightly singe the very top surface of the fabric. It didn't do anything. So from a heat and fire point of view, it's really not a significant concern, but we manage it.
He's more concerned with falls.
Speed-wise, we can easily do 35 miles an hour, so we've gone quite a bit quicker in testing. But again, for most of what we do, by the time you've done 35 miles an hour, you've gone a long way away from probably the audience or the area you're flying. So by then you're coming back again. Next year, 2019, we are building out a race series for this.
Yes, a racing series. Think Formula One, but with jet suits.
We've already had several pilots flying. The record so far is 5 minutes of air time. So we can have a bunch of young guys and girls going actually racing 1,000 horsepower jet suits over water to keep it safe, but doing something that only people have seen before really in a Marvel film. And that is going to push the boundaries like nothing before. I think for the immediate future, it'll be entertainment, it'll be inspiring people, and it'll be really fueling the journey onto creating a revolutionary dream.